Chapter 13. This is chapter 14 in your math lab. Again, chapters 13 and 14 in the book and math lab are actually switched. So this is chapter 13 from the book, chapter 14 in your math lab. And we're going to get into dealing with area and volume and Pythagorean theorem and conversions and a lot of things from a measurement standpoint. And this is something that my fourth grade son has been doing as he's been working on things from school for this last semester or this last 9 weeks where we're out of school. He's been doing a lot of measurement stuff, a lot of conversions and that kind of thing. So this first section, he's really going to get into that. And so we need to start by talking about the different measurement systems. The one that we use in the United States or the one we use most often, is the English measurement system. Okay? And some of this you're going to know easily. Some of this may be a little more confusing for you. So the unit of a yard, which we all know, is 3 feet. And we know that 1 foot is 12 inches. And then we also have the unit of a mile that is 5,280 feet, or if you do that in yards, it's 1,760 feet. The 5,280 typically is what we use, but you could use the yardage there as well. So let's look at our first example. We want to take 5.25 miles and convert that to yards. Okay, so the way that conversions are going to work is we're going to start with whatever our unit is. In this case, it's miles. And we're going to think about this as a fraction over 1. Okay, and we want to eventually get this down to be yards at the end. Okay, so when we think about miles, again, you can do yards. I'm going to do feet, just kind of give you a little more information than is needed. If you think about a mile, it is 5,280 feet per mile. So for 1 mile. Now, you'll notice here that the unit of miles on the bottom and the unit of miles on the top should cancel out. And we can continue this, not equals, multiplying here. We can continue this to have, again, we want to get to yards, right? Well, in 1 yard, there are 3 feet. So again, our feet measurement are going to cancel out. And so once we have gone from mileage to footage, and then in this case back to yards, then we multiply the numbers across the top, multiply the numbers on the bottom, and then do that division. And again, what's happened with our unit is we went from miles, you see that here and here, to now feet, which now cancels, and now we're left with the yardage. And so if you multiply that together, what you'll see is that you're taking 5.25 times 5,280, and you're going to get 27,720, and then you're dividing that by 3. And that should give you a total of 9,240 yards. And so that should be how many yards we have. Now, you could have taken the 5.25 miles, and in our previous slide, we said that it's 1,760 yards. And so you could have multiplied 5.25 times 1,760, and you would have still had the same number of yards. Okay, but I want to show you how to go from miles to feet and then from feet to yards in this fraction form, because as we do these conversions, that's the way we're going to do that. And so that would be our final answer, 9,240 yards in 5.25 miles. And so you can see, I wrote where this is going to write over it, but you can see that 1 mile is 5,280. 1 foot is 1/3 of a yard. And so you have the 5,280 times 5.25, and then dividing that by 3 or multiplying it by 1/3, which is what we did, to get the 9,240. So that is our basic conversion process. And we're going to use that with the English system and then also the metric system in just a few minutes. So the process of converting from one unit measure to the other is to work in ratio. So this is exactly what we did. We took the number of miles and we said, okay, well, 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And then there are 3 feet in 1 yard. And so, again, the mileage canceled, the feet canceled, and left us with the yards. And then it's just a matter of multiplying our numbers and then dividing, in this case, by 3. So when we talk about this ratio of back and forth, it's important to understand, okay, how many feet are in a mile, how many yards are in a, feet are in a yard, how many inches maybe are in a foot, and so on, because those are all going to be things that help us when we do conversions. Okay? If you have any questions about that conversion process, let me know. You maybe could have done it without writing it out this way. Maybe you could have done it just by saying, well, I know that 5.25 is 5,280 feet, so you multiply that to get the feet, and then you divide by 3 to get the yardage. That's exactly what we did. It's just our process, our conversion process is going to look like this. So let's look at this one. It says if a cheetah is clocked at 60 miles per hour, what is the speed in feet per second? All right, so let's think about this. If it's 60 miles per hour, so 60 miles in 1 hour, okay? We eventually want it to be feet per second. So we need to do this conversion to where we get to feet. We also need to do the conversion where we get from hours to seconds. Okay, so kind of a two-part process here. Well, we can start by saying, well, we know that for 1 mile, so 1 mile is 5,280 feet. It is important to make sure you have your unit here. Okay? And so, again, what's happening is that mileage cancels out, and now it's going to become feet when we multiply 60 times 5,280. But our hour needs to change also. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. And we know that 1 minute, so 1 minute is 60 seconds. And again, what's happening there is the hour we had on the bottom down here at the beginning would cancel this hour, and this minute value cancels that minute. And so now you'll notice on top we have feet, and on the bottom we have seconds. And so we just need to do some multiplying. Again, you can use your calculator to do this without a problem. So 60 times the 5,280 is 316,800. And then on the bottom, we're going to multiply 60 times 60 and get 3,600. And this is how many feet per second. Now we can simplify that because 316,800 divided by 3,600 simplifies down to 88 feet per second. And so there is our final answer. Again, writing it as a fraction, converting to where we get, in this case, feet on top, and to where we get seconds on bottom. And every time you do this conversion, if you convert from an hour to a minute, for example, well, the hour has to be on top and it also has to be on bottom. And then the minutes have to be on top and bottom, and so on. And same thing with the feet and the miles, and across each conversion, we've got to be able to do that. And so, again, here's what it should look like. This is what we did. 60 miles per hour. We could, again, you see the miles canceling there to convert to feet. And then with the time, once we get to feet, then our time needs to be converted. So the hour converts, and then the minute converts to get us to the seconds. And so by the time we had feet on top and seconds on bottom, we end up with feet per second. If you have any questions about that, let me know. We'll continue talking about conversions in our next video. We'll stop this one here and continue with the next one shortly.